Good morning. My privilege and honor always to welcome people to occasions like this. It's a special day, and this is a special occasion in a very special time. The pandemic COVID-19, which hit the world last year and strangulated the global economy, rendered comatose human activities. But it didn't break humanity. It didn't break our resolve and our spirits. As creations of God, who are also created to be creators, we have evolved, and riding on the very crest and wing of that pandemic, we have engineered ways to get over it, to do things in special ways in what we now call the new normal. But notwithstanding, in Nigeria we're not sleeping, and one body that has taken it upon itself to keep this issue at the front burner and to let Nigerians know that COVID-19 is not a death sentence. COVID-19, like every other pandemic, is just a phase and will pass away. It surely will pass. That body is the Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy. It's a distinguished body of pharmacists in Nigeria who have distinguished themselves and are worthy of their badge before they are called into a role into this Academy of Pharmacy. Lawyers have their sons, senior advocates of Nigeria. It's only journalists that we don't have senior journalists of Nigeria, SJN. We are yet to have that. But notwithstanding, I want us to acknowledge the effort of Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy with an applause, please, wherever you are. Because what it means that they are leading from the front. And they are partnered with the best group ever, the Nigerian Guild of Editors, the body of editors in Nigeria, the body of senior journalists in Nigeria, decision makers and gatekeepers who will help disseminate this information. Well, without much ado, I will just make a run-through introductory phase of persons here with us. We have on the high table, in no particular order, Dr. Lolu Ojo, Director of Program. You're welcome, sir. He's Director of Program, Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy, and applause for him. He's also Director of the Planning Committee. He's the powerhouse behind this event. You're welcome, sir. Also on the high table is a pharmacist of renown. I don't know whether to call him a pharmacist now or a journalist. Sir Ifeanyi Atuenyi, Vice President of NA Farm. He's also the publisher of Pharma News. You're welcome, sir. He's a journalist. We will induct him into the Guild of Editors very soon. You're welcome, sir. It's all great. That tells you the years of experience. Also in the house is the president. We call it the president that cannot be impeached. And we are returning him by next month, and we are returning him unopposed. I always tell people, don't ask me what we did to the opposition. We have taken care of the opposition. So he's coming back as our president. The president of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, Mr. Mustafa Issa. You're welcome, sir. Also with us is a pharmacist of renown. Ladies and gentlemen, he's also a member of the planning committee, Mrs. Foluke Akinri Raye. You're welcome, ma'am. You're welcome, ma'am. Also in our midst, you see this pharmacy academy, very gender sensitive. You also have Mrs. Adedamola Okenyonju of Merit Healthcare. You're welcome, ma'am. Also in the house, ladies and gentlemen, is another journalist pharmacist, Temitope Obayendo of Pharma News. You're welcome. My name is Ken Ubeche. I'm the Social Policy Secretary of Nigerian Guild of Editors. I know you are wondering where are journalists. I made calls. Some of them are actually online, and some are in transit. But the bottom line remains, rest assured, whatever happens here will be maximally publicized. Because we have also told them to expect our press statement. We are going to issue a press release from this event that they will use. Silverbird, are they in the house now? Silverbird TV is here to take the video recording, which we also share with other television houses. When you see events like this driven by journalists, don't bother about the attendance. You should focus more on the impact. And that's an assurance I will give you here. The impact will be maximum impact in terms of publicity. Now we're going to why we are here. The person to tell us why we have been assembled here is Sir Ifeanyi Atuenyi, who will be giving us the welcome message. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Shall I sit down? Okay. Yeah. Our Honorable Master of Ceremony for this great event, I recognize by my side Dr. Lolu Ojo, as has been introduced, and also Issa Mustafa, the great man of Nigerian Guild of Editors. We have been working together, and let me recognize again all those who are in the hall. On behalf, can I continue?
Continue. They are hearing you.
Okay. On, okay.
And
Okay.
it will reflect, the light will reflect.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the president of the Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy, Prince Julius Adelusi Adelui, MNI, OFR, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this press conference, which will herald the special program on COVID-19 pandemic, organized by the Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy in partnership with Nigerian Guild of Editors, NGA. This program is unique for several reasons. It is so far the only program on the COVID-19 7 days organized by any professional body in Nigeria. The program will run daily from Monday, 12th, to Saturday, 17th of April, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, every day. It has never happened in this country. This is the first program the Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy is organizing in partnership with the Nigerian Guild of Editors. And I believe that this relationship will continue after this program. This partnership will enable us to achieve the desired level of education and information on this COVID-19 pandemic, which we hope to impart to the public. We alone as NAFAM could not have achieved that, but with this partnership, we are confident that we'll achieve it. This program will supply the missing links in the COVID-19 webinars previously organized by various other bodies since the pandemic started last year. This is why it is timely. There are experiences we have gathered from other seminars on this COVID-19, and this particular program will handle them effectively. The committee has successfully assembled experts and authorities to focus on the facts, the myths, and way forward for this COVID-19 pandemic. The official opening of this program will be chaired by the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Sajie Ehanire, on Monday, the 12th, starting 10 a.m. as usual. Many experts, including the Director General of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Dr. Chikwe Ihekwazu, Professor Isamate Hussaini, Commissioner for Health, Borno State, Professor Chinedum Babalola, Vice Chancellor, Chrisland University, Abeokuta, Dr. Ruben Abati, media consultant. Dr. Tony Iradia, former CEO, National Orientation Agency. Professor Moji Adeyeye, Director General, National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration. Professor Noel Wanang, Secretary General, West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists. Dr. Obi Adigwe, Director General, National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, Abuja. Professor Abdusalam Nasidi, former CEO, NCDC. They have now been invited. We cannot give a full list of these experts who will be with us for 1 week. Others will still include Professor Ike Uzochukwu of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Dr. M.M. Zango, Group Managing Director, NNPC Clinic, Abuja, Dr. Fasai Shuaibu, Executive Director and CEO, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. Dr. Jimmy Aribabawo of Nigeria Healthcare Professional Association of Nigeria, and pharmacist Folashade Lawal, MD, Victory Drugs. I cannot list all the authorities and specialists. And as I said at the beginning, I don't know which occasion that has been able to assemble these great experts and authorities. That's why I am confident that the product, the result of this program will go a long way. And the government must find our communications very useful. On behalf of the organizing committee of this program, I sincerely appreciate all those who are here physically. I know it is not easy for people to still move. People are still frightened. Most of us are online. And I want to appreciate in particular the journalists, because they are the people to make this, our program, memorable as we have desired it to be. I thank you very much, and God will bless all of us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Twain. It says 7-day or 1 week program, fully packed with the best in the country, from Medicare to media. I think this is a stunt, if you ask me, because it's imperative that at this time we begin to make such interventions. There is still hesitancy out there. Even the vaccination hesitancy is overwhelming. If you go out there and talk to the local people and the marketplaces, people are telling you there's still no COVID-19 in Nigeria. They don't know that it's the grace of God that has kept us, given us a little bit of immunity. We are taking it for granted. Out there in the US and Italy, parts of Europe, people are dropping dead per second. And these are places that have, if you ask me, the very best Medicare, very best research institutions, and the very best you can ever think of in terms of putting up a counterfoil against diseases and infections. Yet, they could not stand the velocity and the momentum of the pandemic. I guess that's why we are taking so many things for granted here. Now we move to the next issue. Why this partnership? Why did NA Farm partner with the Nigerian Guild of Editors? And to tell us is the president of Nigerian Guild of Editors, Mr. Mustafa Issa. The microphone is yours, sir.
Thank you, Ken.
You know, when you hear Ken speak some scientific jargon sometimes, you know that he also has a science background. You know, in school he was a science, but by accident he became a journalist, and he's a very good one at that. Yeah, it's simple. Why the partnership between NAFAM and the NGE on this program? You know, when we got the letter from them suggesting it as a partnership, I put it before a member of the ESCO, and I can tell you that unanimously we endorsed it because as journalists, if things are not normal in this country, we will not be able to practice our profession. And when the pandemic was at its peak in this country, even when there was total lockdown, journalists were still asked to go out to cover events. So we are more or less also in the front line, like the health workers. So we said, look, let's jump at it. The media would do not just report events. We are supposed to set agenda for those in government. So we said, well, let's do this. And we jumped at it and we said, okay, fine. When you have professionals working with you, to have your news stories out there is very easy. You know, we talk to experts who express expert opinions, and we are in a position to now report what is it. He's talking about facts and myths about COVID-19. It is true that even up to now, as Ken said, there is still a lot of myths surrounding the COVID-19. Some say it's not real. As some said it's a device by the Western country to depopulate Africa. I don't know. But the truth of the matter is this. You can only act based on the information available to you. How do you have information when it's not given to you? That's like, I was in the village during Easter, my village, and I heard some people tell that, look, up to now, say it is not real. COVID-19 is just meant for doctors to get money from whatever. And I asked the question, if it is so, who is paying this money? The guy could respond to me. And I said, and I asked the guy, you said COVID-19 vaccine is meant to depopulate Africa. He said, yes. I said, let me ask you, did you vaccinate your children against polio, whooping cough, and other childhood disease? And he said, yes. I said, what's the difference now? What's the difference? And it's so bad that even some key clerics, especially Christian clerics nowadays, coming out to say that the vaccination is meant to do one of things. Conspiracy theories. I begin to wonder, is he an expert in that field? I think media, we are supposed to report expert opinion, not the opinion of laymen like me. You got the point. That's why when things happen, journalists go to speak with experts. We feel that this partnership will give an opportunity for us to talk to experts on this matter and convey the information to Nigerians. That is why if you look at the lineup of this event, from day one to the last day, we have all the newsmakers in the health sector. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osaje Hanire, the DG of NAFDAC, Professor Adeyeye, the DG of NCDC, Dr. Ihikwazu, all of them. The experts will be available to tell us exactly what is happening. And not just that, journalists have opportunity to ask questions, critical questions, as far the way forward. You know, so that is why we say, look, we are fully in support of the partnership, and that's why we are part of it, because we feel that we benefit as a society. One thing for us to report events, another thing for us to ensure that we do things to benefit our listeners, our viewers, and our readers. You know, because news is not just about reporting news. It's about dish information out and also entertain. But in this case, we want to work on information, credible information from experts to bring to Nigerians. And that is how I do this partnership. So throughout the duration of this event, a week-long event, we have a lot to report. When the Minister of Health speaks, it's news. When the DG of NAFDAC speaks, it's news. And let me say this. NAFDAC approved the AstraZeneca vaccine. Am I correct? Yes. Okay. And the DG herself had taken the vaccine. Somebody told me, say, it is not safe. I said, well, the madam, the head of NAFDAC said it is safe, and she has taken it. So if she's taking it, who am I not to take it? Is that not so? That's it. It's about to bring out to the people for them to understand that this still is real. Look, COVID-19 is still very much with us here. Just today, in Brazil, in 24 hours, they lost 4,000 people. In one day in Brazil. And you think it's a joke? It's still very much with us. So we have to do everything we can to ensure that we build this to a better minimum in Nigeria and even eradicate it. But that's how we are in partnership with this. I will pray we succeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President, Nigerian Guild of Editors. Journalists are on the front line like medical workers, no doubt about that. And one thing that journalists have been doing, if you go through social media and even the conventional media, journalists that have taken the vaccine are sharing their experiences. It's part of the agenda setting. It's part of the things that we have decided to do. Share your experience. Let people around you know that you have taken it. And they see you as still normal. That will encourage those people on the borderline to take a decision and take their vaccines. It's important that we all get vaccinated. And let me also tell us and tell the world, especially Nigerians, there is just nothing you can do about this. Some things we don't have control of. Very soon, you cannot enter some countries without your certificate. It's coming. Kano state government said, pilgrims going for Hajj, just around the corner, you cannot enter Saudi Arabia without your vaccine certificate. So it has even started. That is where it's going to spread all over the world. So those sitting on the fence and saying, or the theorists and the conspiracy theorists and the admirers and promoters of that theory, a time will come, you don't have a choice. You cannot commute from one country to another. You can't just enter another country without your certificate. It's like the yellow fever certificate. We know that you Nigerians cannot go to South Africa without that. Otherwise, they'll give you the jab at the airport. You'll be forced to take the jab, and in a manner that you won't like. No longer at your convenience. I mean, we were stranded at the airport in 2008. Some Nigerians who didn't have the certificate, they were rushed into one room. Otherwise, you go back to your country. But we're going for a conference, they have to go. So they were given the jab, and then they said it's not pleasant. So it's better we take it now that it's pleasant, at your convenience, in your neighborhood. In the midst of people that are friendly and lovely, take it now. And I'm telling Nigerians, this is the message I'm saying to Nigerians, take the jab now. In the midst of people who care for you, who love you. Not in the midst of very angry immigration officials out there. The earlier we do this, the better. To get the perspective of this partnership, also from NFARM, with NAFARM, I would rather call it Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy, so that people will know what we are talking about. And this is an academy that I have so much respect, because it's not just that you are a pharmacist, you must have qualified as a pharmacist, but you must have made contributions before you become a member of this academy. So any time you see somebody who has NAFARM to his name, know that it's not just another pharmacist. It's one that has made contributions and distinguished himself and herself. Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite to the microphone Dr. Lolu Ojo, Director of Programs. He will tell us the perspective.
Well, thank you very much, Ken. I'm excited, I'm happy that I'm meeting so many bosses now in this partnership with Nigeria. Since we met, we bonding a lot very well. And now I met Ken this morning. And he reminds me of Imai Kuno. We'll talk about this later, much later. But what I want to assure you that I will not let you go. That Monday to Saturday, all of this program, you've done very well. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's really exciting to see that we have so many people in the house. We were expecting some to join us, but it appears everybody prefer to be online now. This is one thing that COVID-19 has done to us. You know, we could sit anywhere you have. I think there are even one or two people that are from Europe in our midst right now, which is a good thing for us. Yes, very good for us. The Vice President of Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy had already told you about the academy, particularly the untiring efforts of our president, Prince Julius Adelusi Adeloye. He told me most specifically that he would have loved to be here physically so as to welcome you, but he's online too, and I want to, on his behalf, to say special thanks to every one of you here, and special thanks to everybody who had contributed in one way or the other to make this day possible. It is my pleasure to welcome you. You will permit me to remove this so that I can speak very well. To welcome you to this very important event, marking the beginning of the NAFAM and NGE program on COVID-19 pandemic. At this critical period in our national life, we need to fight the virus with the right information. And this is what I love about the appearance that I made on Silverbird TV yesterday. The theme of the discussion is fighting the virus with the right information. And this is the purpose of our coming together. And the synergy that you are witnessing between pharmacy and media today is based on that fact that we need to fight with the right information. Pharmacists are medicines experts who are well grounded in the pharmacological basis of therapeutics, and they have in their possession accurate and timely information needed to combat the scourge of the moment. On the other hand, the journalists, as represented by the Nigerian Guild of Editors, have the expertise of articulation and dissemination of information. This is, therefore, a winning combination that is capable of changing the narrative on many issues in Nigeria. I said this to my boss, Azu, that after this program on COVID-19 pandemic, we are not going to dissolve this coalition, Mr. President. I think we will still have so many things to do together when we can actually impact many issues that are affecting our country. Therefore, this is a winning combination, like I said, which is capable of changing narrative on many issues in Nigeria. It is important at this juncture to recognize the noble roles of the President of the Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy, Prince Julie, and the President of the Nigeria Guild of Editors, Mr. Mustafa Issa, in making this joint program possible. I am convinced that God and man and history will remember you for good. As a bit of introduction, I will say that the purpose of this conference is to discuss the NAFAM/NGE program with depressed men and women in Nigeria, and to leave the analysis of the subject to the various experts that we have invited to join us on Monday. However, it is important for us to touch briefly on the core highlights of the pandemic. The COVID-19 phenomenon has changed our world completely. What we used to know or consider as normal or as a way of life has now become something else. Some have become anathema that we now avoid at all costs. For instance, in our culture, the usual expression of affection and comradeship, like handshake, hugging, visiting, etc., are things that must be avoided now. Like I said to them on TV yesterday, people now say to you, if you love me, don't come and visit me. Which is the exact opposite of what we have learned all our life. We visit our friends, our brothers, our grandmother, grandfather. But now, if you love me, don't come and visit me. The grim statistics send fear across the globe. As at yesterday, 6th April 2021, a world total of 132 million cases were reported. 74.7 million of this number recovered. And a whopping 2.8 million people had lost their lives. So you could imagine the enormity of the challenge that we have before us. 2.8 million people. What other circumstances or situation except war kill people in this number. And the president of NG just told us that 4,000 people were reported dead in Brazil in one day. You know, this is just to show the size of the problem that we are talking about. In Nigeria, the report is no less alarming, although our figures are much better. But if you look at the number of deaths recorded, which has been put at 2,058 from about 163,000 cases, then you know that it is not something that we need to paper over in terms of consideration and attention. The story is completely different in Europe, America, and Asia, where the fearsomeness of the pandemic is much higher. Is it like the NG president said, we are handling this thing with naivety because the Lord is fighting or has fought our battle. In Europe, in America, it's not the same. They're having issues. Their hospitals are packed up with people, you know, having COVID complications, and they are losing a lot of their citizens in thousands. We have the good news of the arrival of the vaccines before the issues of safety, supply, handling, logistics, etc., came up to overshadow the excitement. In Nigeria, about 800,000 people have received the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, and the process may be impaired by supply issues. Because what we read about 1 or 2 days ago is that government said, once you reach 50% of the allocated vaccine, stop. So that what you have, people can use it for the second dose. I mean, these are the issues that we have. There are also the conspiracy theories and the myths that are woven around the pandemic, around the vaccination and the virus itself. What have they not said? And Ken has said it, NG president has said it. People are they said the Antichrist has come. The vaccine is the implant that they will put into you and all sorts of things. But as scientists, we have a responsibility to tell you what the facts are. And this is exactly where we are at today. So where do we go from here? How do we help our people to contain the spread of the disease and cope with the impact? How do we prevent them from falling victims of false or half-baked information that have been the order of the day? The NAFAM/NGE coalition has mapped out a 6-day media week when all issues will be discussed in open sessions. And I want us to note this, that the purpose of our coming together is to get the right information and disseminate it, you know, to Nigerians. So what we're doing is what we call a media week, which will start on Monday, the 12th of April, 2021, and will continue till Saturday. And like the vice president of the academy said, it's about the first time that this kind of concentrated or intensive campaign will be done. For each day, we are going to bring different experts to discuss different topics. Day one, the topics for discussion will be COVID-19 facts and myths. And this will be under the chairmanship of the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire. The keynote speaker will be Dr. Chikwe Ekuazu, who is the director of the National Center for Disease Control. You see, what we have done is to bring the people who are the people charged with the responsibility of informing us, of helping us to contain the disease. So Dr. Chikwe has agreed to be with us. Other experts will be there to express their thoughts and opinion and answer questions from the press and Nigerians at large. Day two, we'll be discussing the roles of the media in the management of COVID-19 pandemic. Under the chairmanship of an erudite personality and notable Nigerian, Professor Tony Radia, he is the former CEO of the National Orientation Agency. And Dr. Ruben Abati, whom you all know very well, a very renowned journalist, will be the keynote address speaker. On the third day, we'll be looking at the roles of professionals. And when we say professional, we bring everybody, particularly in the healthcare industry. Everybody will bring together and to be discussing what they are. Research institutes. We have so many research institutes, pharmaceutical research institute, medical research institute, and the universities will be discussing what their roles are and particularly what they have done in the management of the pandemic, and this will be under the chairmanship of Dr. Faisal Suwaibu, who is the Executive Director and CEO of the National Primary Health Care Development Agency. The keynote address speaker of that day is notable scientist, Professor Peace Chinedum Babalola, who is currently the Vice Chancellor of Chrisland University, Abeokuta. On day 4, the discussion will be on drug use and misuse during the pandemic. You know, during this pandemic, people have turned drugs into snacks, and you can see them consuming so many, given the situation in Nigeria where access to drug is unrestricted. So people just turn drugs into snacks. So on day 4, we shall be discussing drug use and misuse during the pandemic. And this will be under the chairmanship of Professor Issa Mateus Usaini, who is the Honorable Commissioner for Health in Borno State. The keynote speaker is erudite scholar, Professor Ike Uzochukwu, a research scientist at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. On day 5, we'll be looking at the roles of the regulatory agencies. We have so many of them: the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria, the Medical Council, the Nursing and Midwifery Council, the Medical Science Laboratory Council, NAFDAC, and so on. We'll be looking at what are their roles and what have they done, and international bodies in the management of COVID-19 pandemic. Under the chairmanship of Mazi Sam Ohabua, the president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. And the keynote speaker for that day is Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, the Director General of NAFDAC. And on that day too, we shall be having Dr. Sonny Aliyu, who is the national coordinator of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 pandemic, as our special guest of honor. Finally, on day 6, the topic will be the lessons of this pandemic. I mean, after all that we have gone through, what have we learned? And what are we going to do going forward to, 1, prepare for such emergencies and find a way to protect our nation from what we have been seeing. The chairman of that day will be Mr. Tony Akioto, who is the Group Managing Director of DAR Communication. And the keynote speaker will be Fam Claire Omase, the founder and CEO of GNC International. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, we need to know the purpose is that we want to fight the pandemic with the right information. A lot of things have been said by different people, those who know, those who do not know, all sorts of things. And they are convincing people. That's the funny thing. You know, they are listening to them, even people very close to us, even scientists themselves. You know, you see some scientists now giving, room to their pastors to take over discussing things that are supposed to be science-based. So we want to call on all Nigerians to participate in all the activities. And that's the purpose of this gathering. We want the press to please reach out to Nigerians. I'm so happy that we have so many. I think the last time I checked, we have about 86 participants. For a press conference, that is a record. A big record. 91 now, thank you, sir. That's a fantastic, a big record. So we want you to please use everything that you have to get Nigerians to come every day, rather than for them to be lamenting in the corners of their room, rather than for them to be hoping and talking about figure 666 and all sorts of things. And then come and ask those that know, those that are supposed to talk to them. If you have doubt, if you have contrary evidence, come and put it on the table so that all of us can learn from the thing. We have capacity to accommodate a minimum of 1,000 participants on each day. On each day, we can accommodate 1,000 participants. And if we have more than that, I think we have opportunity to be on YouTube. We have our dear brother who is in charge here. We put us on YouTube. We can follow on Facebook, on Instagram, and other social media that can make for participation. Because there will be opportunity to ask questions from the people who should know. I think that is the point that I want our people to get. People who should know will be there from Monday to Saturday, and you can ask them questions. It is a very unique opportunity to clear all doubt. Finally, I want to thank you again, and reiterate that call for you to pass this message on and drive participation at the Media Week. Thank you, and God bless you all.
A better applause for Dr. Ojo. Dr. Lulu Ojo, we should considering inducting you into the guild because you now speak like a journalist. I don't know that pharmacists also have this eloquence. I didn't know that. I know that Cyprian Equensi, a pharmacist, wrote a lot, but that he didn't speak a lot because he was used to writing. Thank you very much, sir. Now is question and answer, but let me report to the House that as of now we have 95 participants online, which is a record for a press conference. I have seen comments from leadership newspapers online, Guardian newspapers online. I told you that some journalists would rather follow online than flock themselves through the traffic, Lagos traffic. But we also have questions. The president of the guild, who is to moderate the question and answer session, has yielded the microphone to me. And you know, in the guild, we obey before we complain. It's like the military. So I'm obeying the directive from my president. I will coordinate the question and answer session now. And those watching online, if you have questions, please just put it online. We pick it up, and it will be properly addressed here. The first question, the person wanted to know if you have an audio recording of this. Somebody wanted an audio recording. I think that's possible. So if you are the one, you can just send an email. It can be sent to you via email or WhatsApp or any other channel. The second question is, I think, directed at the president of the guild. I think he should take this question. I think we should just take down the questions before we start answering. So do you think the media has done enough? That's your own constituency in terms of publicity, because the hesitancy people are saying is because they're not having enough information. Do you think your constituency, the media, has done enough in terms of giving out the right information? The other question is, why do we not have at this time, I think this was the pharmacists in the House, why do we not have at this time homemade vaccines? Vaccines made in Nigeria. Why are we not thinking in that line? And why do we not have one on the shelf? Why do we have to depend on India, on the UK, and elsewhere for our vaccines? And now, another question. Many people resorted to self-medication during this pandemic. Of course, I'm aware of this. And some of them died. What is NAFARM doing to curb self-medication? Self-medication is still rife in this part of the world. You just go to the pharmacy in the villages, we call them chemists, just to mix some drugs for you. You know, growing up, I grew up in a village, and when they go there to get these drugs mixed, they will tell the pharmacist. So actually, they were chemists there, not pharmacists. They will tell the chemist, please put that red one. If that red one is not there, it's not effective. You know, that red one, it could just be vitamin or one iron drug. But then, once that Ododo one, the one, the color red, is there, they take it by faith and they are well. So, what are we doing about issue of self-medication? And if you are in the house, and you're of New Telegraph is here physically. If you have a question, please let me have your question. Let me just leave the high table to address these ones before we take the next batch of questions. Do you have an audio recording of this? Yes. And what has the media done? Okay. Okay. After this, you just forward it to them. Beautiful. Beautiful. So those online, you can get it via YouTube. It's more than audio. We also have the video. The president of the guild, what have you done in terms of publicity? Why do you not have homemade vaccines? And what are you doing, pharmacists, to stop self-medication? At least curb it. Thank you.
Okay. So should I?
Yeah, the
okay.
president.
Thank you for that question. The question is, do you think the media has done enough in giving out right information on COVID-19. I think from the beginning, when we had the index case on February 27th, 2020, to date, I think we have done well. The traditional media, please follow them. You will see that they emphasize the opinions of experts. They de-emphasize conspiracy theories. But the problem we have now is the social media. That's the problem. In fact, even with WhatsApp groups, people don't share information. That is not correct. And unfortunately for us, traditional media will have the gatekeepers. But social media, there's no gatekeeper. Anything goes. But most times, Nigeria don't differentiate between the two. Thinking that social media, traditional media, we are together. We are not the same. My members are trained journalists. And we have gatekeepers. You have a reporter who sends the report to editor. Editor takes a look at it, and when he allows it to pass, then it goes. Social media, everybody can just sit somewhere in his bedroom anywhere and just concoct something and put it out there. There's no control, nothing. That is the problem we have today. As for my own constituency, my own members, we've done well. But my advice is that when we see people who are not experts talk about COVID-19, talk about vaccines, I think we should de-emphasize such opinion because they are not opinion from experts. No matter how popular a pastor is or an imam is, he's not qualified to talk about vaccine because he's not an expert. That's the way I see it. So that's why to my colleagues, please, when the pastor or an imam talks about vaccine and he's not an expert in that field, he just de-emphasize that report. Or it will be misleading, most times misleading. But overall, the media in Nigeria have done well in reporting COVID-19, even this issue of ongoing vaccination. We've done well, we monitor what is happening. So that is why when issues arise, we pick them up and government has to address them. We don't create events, but we report events. But at the same time, the media ought to set agenda. So that is the way we'll be doing it. We've done so far. We've done well.
Yeah, there's a question on homemade vaccines. Vaccines made in Nigeria. No more having the ones made in India and other countries. Well, one reason is that our government has not given priority attention to health issues. I know many years ago, we have been having vaccine lab at the manufacturing lab, Yaba. Today, I do not know what that lab has produced. A few years ago, the federal government signed an agreement, an understanding with May and Baker Nigeria Limited, PLC really, on the manufacture of vaccines in Nigeria. What is happening? No priority on health issues. If it were a contract where some people will gain some money, that business might have taken off now. But today, it hasn't. But vaccine, you see, vaccine is not like common tablet, which you can start processing and do the clinical test and do market surveillance and start issuing out. No, it takes time. You cannot start and finish vaccine in less than 2 years. So all these things we are doing now could only have been done by advanced nations who already have the infrastructure and they are capable of producing vaccines. They are not what we can produce easily. Now, there's interest in it. but we cannot rush it. In fact, what we are having now all over the country is they are being rushed because enough work has not been done on them. You need time. If you want to say that a product will give you immunity for 6 years, then 6 years must elapse before you can prove it. But we are taking this because of the need, urgency now. And so with minimum tests that have been done and we have discovered we can use them, we are managing them. So Nigeria cannot rush it today. It's not a simple product. And the question has been asked on self-medication. And to me, as long as Nigeria remains a poor country and full of ignorant people, self-medication will continue. There's poverty. How many people can consult doctors and pay their fees and get prescription? How many people can buy the genuine products and not prefer fake cheap ones from roadside? Ignorance. And again, indiscipline. And some form of lack of integrity. We talk of countries. Ghana is doing better than ourselves. It's a smaller country. But here in Nigeria, people are ignorant, people are poor. Efforts have been made to educate people. But what do we have? Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy, 2 years ago, we had a big program on these fake drugs and self-medication. Dr. Lolo, just sitting beside me now, was the director of programs. We had a few days program on this around the Ikeja, but what is the impact? It's just like a teaspoon of salt in an ocean of water. We are doing what we can do at Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria and Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy, but we are working in an area of ignorance and poverty. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It could have been better said. We just take the last round of questions. We have Tosin of Eco FM, and okay, I will give it's the ladies first, so I will recognize Temitope of Farmer News. Temitope, your question, please.
Thank you very much, and all protocols observed. Yes, I want to ask, it has been said that religious leaders are part of the people spreading misinformation about vaccination and hesitancy. But there is this video spreading on WhatsApp. Yes, social media has been identified as one of the channels where misinformation is spreading, where scientists, different professionals, dentists, pediatrician, surgeon, all of them lined up and were speaking categorically against vaccination. Yes, speaking and encouraging people to shy away from the vaccination. So what do we have to say about this when healthcare professionals, though white, are the ones speaking against the vaccination? What do we tell the people? Thank you.
Very important question, really. Tosin, Eco FM.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Just stand on the existing protocol. Now, sir, you talk about the self-medication that Nigerian people are into. So now, in your little effort, sir, so what can you do to ensure that these things we call self-medications and that you describe as ignorance? So what can we do to ensure that we eradicate it from our society, even from the young ones that are coming? Because most of them doesn't know anything called like that. They just go to a pharmacy, buy any drug that they like, that, okay, I'm just ordinary headache, but they go there and without asking doctor, what can I do?
Thank you, Tosin. I think we'll just leave it there. When experts begin to strengthen the hands and the voices of the conspiracy theorists. And the second question is, we shouldn't give up on self-medication. So what can we keep doing to discourage that? Over to you, sir.
Okay. So on the question of people you expect to know, but they are there deceiving people. They are dishonest people. They are dishonesty. Vaccines are science. It's not for religious bodies. They are science. And those of us who are in the science, if we have something new, you publish it in recognized journals. That is the means through which you communicate. You do not communicate with the masses if you have something you call scientific. You read the scientific community. And even journalists, the president has mentioned it. There's a way we communicate scientific information to the masses. It's not as we communicate to science people. So there are people who are in healthcare, but they are dishonest. They know the truth. They know the facts, but they deceive people. There's a certain governor in this country that does not approve of vaccine. Vaccines don't kill people. Vaccines save lives. But he preferred that people should die instead of taking vaccine. How do we accept that? And you are governor of a state. How do you take it? So people, I can say, are dishonest. They are simply deceiving people. Don't be surprised if some of these people who are speaking against it go like Nicodemus in the night to go and take it. Because they know the truth. Because they know that we are better with vaccine. Anybody telling you that it is safer not to have vaccine, that person is deceiving and is a dishonest person. Let us be clear about it. Whatever position that person may occupy, even in healthcare, he is deceiving people. Thank you.
Let me add a little to that. Thank you very much, sir. You've really nailed it. Let me say here, because like we say, we are scientists and we are speaking to Nigerians. There are still so many things that we don't know about the vaccines. That's the truth. So what we are saying is not that these are absolute risk-free agents. No. No. But the question is this. In the absence of a cure, in the absence of any other means to combat this scourge of our time, and people are dying in thousands, 2.8 million. We're not talking about 2.8 million chicken that we kill every Easter, Christmas, and all sorts. We're talking about human lives. What do we do? What we can say to you is that as at today, the facts available is that there are benefits accruable from vaccination against COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, some people will experience side effects. Yes, some people may even collapse. But guess what? They could even collapse because of the common drug that they use anytime, any day. We know all this. You know, but as we advance in the knowledge of these vaccines, many more things will come into play. I think as it is today, I know there is a trust deficit in the country, particularly between government and people, but let's trust those that we have put in charge. The DG of NAFDAC is an experimental scientist herself. You know, if she has the information, we should hide it. If she's not convinced, we should tell us to come and using it. The NCDC, GED, and other people that have been put in charge. For now, that is what I would say. But we are not saying absolutely is free of anything, is free of, no. And nobody should be forced to take it anyway. But please, if you decide that you are not going to take, I don't think it is your problem, it is your duty, it's your responsibility to tell other people not to take. You can take that decision that you don't want to take, but don't go ahead and start talking about something that you are not an expert on. And like the Vice President has said, those scientists that are now going on social media to announce this and that, is that the way scientific discovery are announced? Even if you want to disprove what another scientist has said, there are established routes of doing it. There are means of doing this. Finally, before I drop the microphone, this is one of the things that we have been shouting on for a very long time. I know the current president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria has been pushing for us to increase the percentage of local production versus total national consumption. As it is today, we are talking about 20% local production, 80% importation. But let me tell you, even the 20% that we produce in Nigeria, I think it is only water that is not imported. Even every other thing that we use to get them to the market, they are imported. See, which country will allow this to continue? And let me tell you, any country that wants manufacturing has to go decidedly for it. It's not for me. As a pharmacist, as a professional, I've been doing what I need to do. The society has been doing its own. Academia has been doing its own. But the government must take a decision on what they want. That is what others are doing. That is why India is now getting to be pharmaceutical capital of the world. The vaccine that we are talking about now, the Serum Institute in India has been granted license to produce it. And India told us only recently that they want to take care of their national need. They have about 11.8 million cases versus our own 163,000. So why should India be shipping the vaccines to us when they have more problem with them? And don't forget they have a population of 1.2 billion people. So we need to do something about, and this government, we are trying our best. The president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria has been shouting. I remember in 2017, I was the chairman of the national conference. The theme of that conference was treat medicine and availability as a national security issue. Now, 3-4 years down the line, we are faced with COVID-19 pandemic. Let Nigeria wake up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're taking a question from Zoom. Somebody has been raising his hand on Zoom, so let's have the engineer. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Please. Go ahead. Go ahead. Ask your question, please.
Yeah. Thank you.
Go ahead. Ask your question, please.
Yeah. Please, I just want to know what's the place of pharmacogenetic as far as these adverse events with respect to COVID-19 vaccines are concerned. Hello, sir.
If you are still there, please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, sir. Please, I want to know the place of pharmacogenetic.
On the issue of some professionals speaking against the COVID-19 vaccine, are we really sure that some of them, posing as experts, are really experts? Anybody can dress as a medical doctor, just put on the stethoscope and go and everything and begin to speak as a medical doctor. It may not be really. Did you show your certificate? They may not be. Anybody can pose as a medical doctor, pose as a pharmacist. We are the other of it's fake news. So you have to be very careful the kind of people who listen to. Anybody, you can just say, I'm a medical doctor. I'm speaking with authority. Did he show you his documents? His qualifications? May not be. They have a position they are canvassing, and they know that some people are very gullible. Information they give out there, some people will just believe. Posing as experts, so we have to be very, very careful kind of people we listen to, but how that leads to experts. And as Sir Chui rightly said, there are procedures to be followed. If you have discovered something, it is clear. Publish it in the journals. You will pick it from there. That is how it is done. You remember those days, people claim that they have a cure for HIV and AIDS. You remember? In this country. They faded because it's not true. They know how to follow. The procedure is very clear. You get the point? The procedure is clear where to follow. So please, you have to be very careful the kind of people we listen to.
Thank you, President. Just before we lose track of it, when Sir Ifeanyi Atoyi was speaking, he made a very profound soundbite. I think that's what every journalist should be propagating. He said, and I quote, "Vaccines don't kill people, vaccines save lives." It's profound, it's short, it's sharp. That is the message we should be pushing, that vaccines don't kill people, vaccines save lives. There is a question before I come to you, madam, from the Guardian newspaper. Guardian newspaper wants to know why, in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic, journalists are denied access to isolation centers, because that's actually part of the problem. When journalists are denied access to isolation centers, because some people down there will tell you, where is the isolation center? I want to see who has died, who is there, how are they behaving there, how are they living? Do you think there is existing? Meanwhile, it will take a journalist to actually tell the world where an isolation center is, what they do there, who are the inmates at the time, who has been admitted, who has been discharged. If journalists don't have access to such centers, it becomes difficult for us to disseminate the right information. So the Guardian reporter, someone from the Guardian is asking, why have we denied access to journalists to isolation centers? That's the question. I don't know whether it's for these pharmacists to answer, the Academy of Pharmacists, but I think it's more of a policy issue. And I'll come to Mrs. Foluke Akinrirayi, a member of the planning committee. She has something to say. Madam.
Thank you very much. The president of Nigeria Academy of Pharmacists, Vice President Tui, and the Director of Programs. You have all, and also the President of the Nigeria Guild of Editors. I want to appreciate you. You've all spoken very well. I just want to add concerning different people speaking against vaccination. In our experience in life, nothing good is ever taken, embraced immediately. If anything happens and everybody embraces it, we should have concern. Even when, as a Christian, when Jesus Christ came and brought the good news of peace and everything, he was still crucified. We had people that hated him. Now we have vaccines that have been, brought up. As a pharmacist that came back from diaspora, I've also had opportunity to go back and forth, and I took my own vaccination in the US. The reason why we're seeing all these objections is just for us to know that human beings are human beings in everywhere, no matter where you're located. We have in Nigeria, we have our concerns. We have in the US, even with all their knowledge, they have concerns. But the thing is, as professionals and scientists, ours is to present the information. Human beings are to take it and use it as they feel is good for them. It is, vaccines does not, they don't kill. But you cannot do, my own thing is that if you
take it. If it, I mean, that you can never go wrong. But when you don't do what is in your power to protect yourself, and you listen to rumors, eventually you get confused. And at the end of the day, many people that did not embrace Jesus Christ in his time, now, you know, he was evangelized by only 12 people. So please let us not learn, you know, from our, let us not be beaten by our mistakes by listening, but for us to look at intelligently what is being presented, and let us take actions in favor of ourselves. I took my vaccine in the US. I took Pfizer vaccine, and I think, you know, my 90-year-old mother took the AstraZeneca in Nigeria, and she's doing well. Let us be positive in our thinking. If we're not positive, even things that are not there, we will see it. So let us be careful so that we don't hurt ourselves or shoot ourselves, you know, in the leg, in the process of trying to, you know, go against things that, you know, is so clear. That is my contribution, and I pray that more and more people will embrace this vaccine and, you know, do ourselves the justice we need for our bodies, so that Nigeria will be a safer place for everyone to live in. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Ms. Foluke. By way of closing, let us hear from Sir Ifeanyi Atoyin. Closing remarks, sir.
Before me, when I was mentioning the authorities and experts we are expecting in this program, I mentioned Dr. Mohammed Zango, who is the Managing Director, NMPC Medical Services. I think I said group. He is Managing Director, NMPC Medical Services. Please be corrected as I have done so. A prophecy. So it is my great privilege to make closing remarks at this press conference. As I said at the beginning, this program is designed to get the experts and authorities what they say you can take home. They are scientific facts that as of today, they are truth. They are facts. It may change tomorrow because it is not word of God. They are science, and science continues to change. So what we are going to receive from Monday, 12th, to Saturday, 17th, will be, as our team has it, the facts about COVID-19. And then the myths, this falsehood, you will receive from experts. And also the way forward. Where do we go from here? So I want to thank you, those who are here online, about 100, for only the press conference. This is only an announcement we are making. It is not the program itself. About 100 online, and we are here in the hall. So I know that that week will be one of the greatest weeks in the discussion and talk on COVID-19 in this country. For a whole week, we shall listen to experts, we shall listen to authorities, and whatever they tell you, please take it as the fact. I expect that we should tell more people, don't let them miss this program. As the director of program has told us, we can accommodate up to 1,000 people every day. So there's no limit. There's no congestion. If you have doubting Thomases, please tell them to come and hear the experts. Some people say they are horses. You hear from the horse's mouth. But they are not horses, so they are human beings. But you hear from them. What you don't receive from them, please don't take it from outside, from social media. Don't take it from so-called experts who use social media. Come and listen to the real experts. I want to thank you once again for this cooperation of today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir Ifeanyi Atoyin, editor and pharmacist, publisher emeritus. We have come to the end, but to give the final charge and vote of thanks will be the President, Nigerian Guild of Editors. Mr. President.
Thank you, Ken, the MC, Eshaldinier. Thank you all of you for attending this press conference today. Those of us here physically, the number is few compared to what we have on Zoom online. I think that's very encouraging. It shows that starting from Monday, we expect more participants. If just the press conference will attract over 100 participants, I hope that from Monday we'll have over 500. As you have said, we'll have the capacity to accommodate over 1,000 people on the program. So I implore my colleagues to please join the program from Monday, because we already have a lot of experts that are coming to talk to us on it. The Minister of Health, the CDC, DG, the DG of NAFDAC, an array of experts coming to talk to us on this topic. And again, I like what my colleagues have been doing. Those who have taken the vaccine, they all wrote about it. Please keep, when you take it, please write about it. Share your experience, and it'll be so encouraging. You know, Nigerian journalists are very dynamic. We are very resilient, and we are very creative. Honestly, it's part of the environment we operate in. We do our best. Please, when you take the vaccine, write about your experience. Put it out there. That's just okay. If journalist Lagbaja has taken it and nothing has happened to him, and he still has the courage to write about it, it means it's okay, it's safe. So let me go also take it. You know, we'll keep talking to government. We don't have enough vaccines yet. We'll keep talking to the people. We need more. The fact that Nigerians are even ready to offer bribe to take the vaccine shows that a lot of us are really eager, believing in the vaccine. Am I wrong? We hear those stories. So it means those who want to take it are far more than those who are against it. So that's it. So I implore my colleagues to please go ahead and take it, write about it, and when the program begins proper, please join and spread the good news. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Of what has transpired here today, the speeches, the addresses, the remarks. And don't also forget that we have a YouTube channel for this. We have audio and video recording, so you can refer to it at your convenience to get the I's properly dotted and T's properly crossed. Let me also ask that those in the house here, journalists in the house especially, please give your email to Madam here. She will send the electronic copies to you, to your email addresses. It's easier for you to write stories from there. Thank you. On that note, we have come to the end of this press conference. And maybe all just on Monday, please let us connect. Let us make it an evangelism, a national evangelism. Let us broadcast it. Let us publicize it. Let us tell others about it. For those that are in the house who have not taken it, go and take it. This vaccine does not kill. It saves lives. That is the soundbite I'm taking out of here. Vaccines don't kill. Vaccines save lives. Thank you very much. Thank you.